All right. Hi, everyone. This is N, pronouns are they, them, head of community at Livepeer, and welcome to Watercooler Chat. This is our weekly Monday call to connect and talk all things Livepeer. Some announcements from me, and then I'm going to hand over to Rick for some announcements as well. On my end, we will be starting the marketing for delegated workshops. There's going to be one in Salt Lake City, where I'm located, one in Abuja, Nigeria, and then also one online. So if you're interested, once we drop those, feel free to RCP. If people are, existing and existing delegators, existing people in the community, you can sign up. You'll just have to be creating a new wallet address, and in order to get the rewards, you're gonna have to hold the LPT in the wallet for a month. So that's something that's coming up. We also have a number of events coming up, which were posted in the announcements. So if you are interested in what events we have, IRL and online, they're all listed there. And of course, we have Fireside on Wednesday. That is all from me. Over to you, Rick from Foundation. You're muted.
I'm now here. Yeah, right.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah, Rick here from the foundation. Just want to give a quick update about advisory boards that are in motion. Last week, as I explained in the last water cooler, we had advisory board members asynchronously provide challenges, risks, and opportunities for the Livepeer network. So based on that, the board chairs, so me including for the network board, synthesized these cars into like synthesis cars where the big topic were ranked. And then basically this week, finally the board members held their first in-person meetings. And that showcased a really diverse landscape of experts across all boards. So we're really happy with that. And in those meetings, they then synthesized the CR synthesis cars, so the risk, challenges and opportunities, and identified really the most pressing ones and for the Livepeer network. And based on that, they started working on strategic pillars for the Livepeer product and also objectives to overcome challenges, mitigate risks, and size opportunities. And some key opportunities were already identified. So Rich will be in the water cooler or in the fireside, I think tomorrow, but to talk a little bit more. But basically for the governance works, it's really about funding protocol upgrade was a big part of their boost the protocol security, their build accountability for core contributors was also a topic there. Broader ecosystem input, so allow people to give more input into like the governance structure and ensuring compliance with laws. For markets, there was like a lot of the more how to activate the treasury, improve liquidity, improve integrate staking and DeFi integrations, and evolve tokenomics. On the network board, there were a lot of discussion about how to service the key job types, build lean, flexible, performant core so that you can be not only serve a bigger amount of jobs, but also really have a high performance and zoom into on the distinguishing factor from the Livepeer network. And then also clarifying the vision, we talked about it, so the network as a product and grow AI ties with the research community. On the growth side, has been talk about sharpen AI inference narrative, clarify the cascade and network as a product value, enabling ROI-based funding, and among all the things, also how to nurture research. And there will be an overview of the strategic pillars, the objectives that were discussed more about it next week, because this week the chairs will synthesize those strategic pillars, objectives, again come to findings between the boards. So we look on overlaps, tensions, interdependencies, and potential blind spots. And this ensures that the strategy is complements rather than contradicts across all domains. So that's for this week. The boards will synthesize the inputs, and then after that week we work with the board members again. So
Very
that was the quick update from the foundation.
awesome. Very exciting. Thank you, Rick. I think it's best for a first topic to just do any advisory board questions since we're on the topic. So, does anyone have any questions about advisory boards for Rick? Um, yeah.
Yeah, I shared the files links in the chat as well, so if people want to read up a little bit on it. But if there are any questions, just let me know. I see that we have some board members in the audience as well.
Okay. If there are any questions that come to mind over the call, feel free to drop them in chat or unmute or come up to stage. But thank you, Rick. The next one we
No
had
problem.
was
Thank you
from
for having me.
Mike and Speedy Bird on the cloud merges and Explore updates. So tell us what's been going on.
Yeah, so hey everyone. Just as you know, Livepeer Cloud last year, we had our second proposal that was to build infrastructure for testing the AI network on Livepeer. And one of those deliverables was to get the test data from our testing application surfaced in the Livepeer Explorer so that orchestrators and delegators can look at what what orchestrators are running which models, what their performance is, and how they rank up against each other. So one of our final milestones was to get it exposed on Livepeer Explorer. Um, we were finished at the end of October last year, but with a lot of things going on in the ecosystem, especially the launch of Daydream, it just became a small task that never got completed. And we were sitting waiting. And I think Rick, as he's been paying attention to the cloud SPE, helped us, finally get this last change pushed over the goal line, and we were able to now go in and see the AI testing statistics on the Livepeer Explorer. So the Livepeer Cloud hosts the AI testing job application. We were funded through August of this summer. Um, we'll definitely going to continue to manage and support that. We're also looking to to start potentially even doing some testing for the real-time AI video. That's something that's definitely we've been watching and monitoring as the Daydream app surfaced, and now that some more orchestrators are onboarded doing the AI video work, it was probably about time for us to go back in and get testing to make sure that those pipelines are also surfaced on Explorer as well. So that's something we'll be looking at. I mean, in general, Speedy and I have been working hard over the last few months, trying to prepare our next proposal and looking at some of the things that we might be doing. And I think, different from our other proposals where they were more project based, I think we're going to be more aligned to, you know, being a more formal development organization committed to some strategic objectives in Livepeer. Obviously, hosting the public gateway so that folks can continue to kick the tires on Livepeer and try out transcoding and AI networks. But we're also looking at, doing a lot of work inside the Explorer app. I mean, this application needs a lot of love. It's been, left to the side for quite a while, and it's a critical piece of the Livepeer community. So making sure that Explorer is up to date, latest APIs, security vulnerabilities, being able to fix a lot of the user experience issues that many folks have reported from a delegator's perspective, and just in general, browser user. Um, we've also been gearing up for a gaming platform. We've been working on that um, over the last few months, and we're probably going to be unveiling something in the near future. No timeline set specifically, but definitely going to be gaming, tapping into some of the hype around word games, puzzle games, online games, multiplayer games, and leveraging the Livepeer network for a lot of the underlying infrastructure supporting that. I mean, we just have a whole host of things that we're working on that will be, looking to get another proposal put up in the near future to outline what our strategies are, and really looking at, some demand generation as a key driver for a lot of the projects we're looking at. So a lot to be said, a lot to be talked about, but we're not going anywhere. I know we've been kind of silent over the last few months, but we're working. We stay committed to Livepeer, and we're going to continue to push the boundaries and make this protocol accessible and bring up adoption and awareness as our original mission statement was. So um, But that's really all I had to say. I don't know, Speedy, if there's anything you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, I just say that we're interested too to see where the advisory boards go, what kind of roadmaps they put together. I mean, you talk about Explorer and how we've been looking at that, and there are obviously a lot of items of technical debt that have accrued in there over time, and libraries that are starting to age out that'll lead to vulnerabilities we have to be thinking about. So we definitely want to be looking at those things and improve that, and improve the experience, and lining that up with the foundation's eventual roadmap that comes out, and it'd be interesting to see how much that also aligns with what N was talking about in terms of trying to bring on more delegators, and if there's anything that can be done in the Explorer to facilitate that as well. So I'm not necessarily, I'm happy to talk about it, but I mean, I think those are the kinds of things that we're looking at. So on one side, it's the aspects of where can we plug in pieces around demand gen, and Mike and I have been talking about games, gamification. That's why the VTuber stuff looks really cool. I love the bribe Sarah. That's awesome. And yeah, on the other side, it's just the technical underpinnings, which Mike and I have always been pretty much focused on and building on, and continuing in that spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you reminded me there was one last thing I wanted to say, and I mentioned this in the last water cooler too. As part of the Livepeer cloud, we've been building the open pool um, platform, which is basically a software stack for orchestrators that'll allow them to provide a pool solutions to anyone. I mean, open pool is currently running under the compute node orchestrator today, and again, it's one of the first AI pools that are currently live using Livepeer. But we want to provide an open platform so that any orchestrator can run a pool, whether private or public. But I think one of the key parts of the open pool that we're looking at in the near term, and this ties directly to what N was saying about improving delegations, is that we're hoping that pool members can start getting paid with bonded LPT. So just participating in the pool, you automatically become a delegator of part of the Livepeer network. So that's another thing we've been working on in the background, trying to see if we can get that off the ground in the next few weeks here. So a lot of stuff cooking at the Cloud SPE. So feel free to ask questions, and we'll do our best to answer what we can.
Note, I think Liam and Sean are both interested in Explore improvements as well. Of course, Rick has been talking to them extensively. So definitely some folks you might want to connect with. And yeah, the developer kind of SP sounds really good, especially as we're trying to move more into the spirit of what SPEs were always meant to be, which was generally like funding vehicles for different needs within the ecosystem. So that is definitely a really exciting thing to hear. And also, all the different things you noted are very exciting as well. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be all hands on deck for Explorer. There's definitely a lot of stuff that needs to be addressed, and you can see by the chat. Josh is asking for a widget on there. I know Doug mentioned us. Doing some changes to some of the reporting to show the focus more on the growth of the AI network as opposed to some of the static charts that are there today. So there is a wide swath of features and functionalities that need to be addressed and updated. So as Speedy said, we're going to align with the foundation and do our best to contribute and participate in bringing Explorer to the 2025.
Right. The other note, I forgot to say this in an announcement, but we actually hit another all-time high on network fees last week. So that's pretty exciting news. It's always good to see one of those all-time highs. So congrats, everybody. Okay, if there's no other conversation on that topic, I know Define you had two. I'm not sure which one you want to start with, but take it away.
Hey guys, so I will start with the one which had the most immediate impact on the network, and this is the temporary stop of the incentivized pipeline. I will explain why the pipeline stopped and what is the plan on resuming it. So for those who are not aware, from Friday on June 20 until around 28th or 29th of June, we ran the first incentivized pipeline on the network, which basically paid orchestrators for their inference, and it's the first part of the VTuber agent rollout. So we had great success doing so. At the end, we were able um, to distribute rewards exactly as we expected. You can see the forum post here to understand more about the incentives, how they were allocated, and why we are doing those incentives, which is to create an inference flywheel and to incentivize continuously improving agents, and those agents will be able to lead to better GPUs and better inference, better monetary results from the agents, etc., etc. And what's happening there is that because, and this was my fault because I did take the initiative, it wasn't any other SPU member. I not did the full due diligence legal uh, legal draft before the launch. Uh, we weren't exactly prepared for this running long term. So there are not potentially any kind of regulatory issues for the amount of time we ran it, and because it was infrequent, and because at its core cannot be categorized as money transmission. For those who do not know, US basically have a very strict framework with money transmission. They require a MSB license from FinCERN. Everyone who is not complying with that, it's it's charged 5,000 per day, and also you could be charged with 5 years of prison. Now, obviously, we are not into that category, and we also have a 120-day window of registering on MSB. But we are looking into just doing all the proper legal consultation, finding exactly how this is gonna go forward, because we are looking into doing this for the long term and keeping those incentives up to the network after the end of this proposal. Uh, I will also post the proposal here, and just to give some timelines, either this week or the next week, which is also the most probable real time, uh, which is this is the this is the proposal for the credits, for the inference credits. So the incentivized pipeline was part of actualizing those. So either this week or next week, we're gonna have the legal consultations, and we're gonna uh, move forward from that. We just want to do it with full compliance, and for everyone, including the orchestrators and us who running the pipeline, to have peace of mind regarding the regulatory landscape. We understand that this is very new. No one before tried to use treasury funds for incentives. What Think doing is completely different. Our case, it's more gray area, not only because it's from the treasury, but because of the legal wrappers that the entities, the agent SP, our companies are using. So we just want to make it clear. So this was the first topic. Does anyone here have any questions or any kind of feedback or anything regarding that? I can not see anyone having any questions, so I will just move with the second subject. So we're working together with Dan on the application. I'm working on the backend, and Dan is working on the game side. So we will show in this Wednesday on the fireside what each of us is being working on. Basically, Dan implemented a plugin which allows us to change the values in the game side. So do any kind of pass through a TCP plugin inputs and change the game values. I implemented that on the backend, so it's work with natural language processing. You are able to say, I want the hair of the avatar to be blue, and it will change it with a curl request in real time. Now on the next update of the application, I'm working on releasing that today. I'm running the final tests and just making sure that everything passes the quality controls we have. And this basically will introduce a new kind of autonomy where you have for the for the call request which produce the speeds, give the prompt to produce the speeds, and also for the the other call request which allows changes into the game, you're gonna have an orchestrator agent which will be able to autonomously control that on system one. So the this could be expanded and introduced through autonomy. And also what I'll be working on, I'm not sure if this will be done today, is connecting that with the AutoGen uh, team of agents, which we have worked weeks on implementing. And if you remember, I sent the Liza multi-agent team with AutoGen, great results. We introduced long-term semantic memory. We also introduced auto improvement for those agents. So we have basically two different autonomous systems that they communicate with each other, and they're greatly extendable. So I'll be looking forward to delivering that, showcasing that. I don't want to talk too much about it. I just want to show you on the far side, and also uh, very soon going into the profit and loss. Now, uh, this is the last comment on this, and where the legal comes again. Uh, and just an important distinction is that the gateway which Titan uses and the gateway which I use are different. And the one that Titan uses does not use the incentive, so Titan does not have the same problem. In case that anyone of you um, made like want to make that comment. And the second is that on the case of doing profit and loss calculation for actual autonomous agents, in Europe we just cannot do that. Okay, so in US we're not sure. This is also where we asking legal opinion, because we either need to put the agent in a restrictive place, kind of like what Sarah is, where Sarah is not fully autonomous, she cannot roam around, she's operating into a box of logic, or just do see what kind of legal wrapper we need to use specifically for that. Um, so yeah, this is probably the biggest hurdle on getting the PNL. I hope on also like in 2 weeks horizon we will have resolved that. We will be able to technically go on PNL either this or the next week. So I'll be looking to showcasing that live in in every way that is possible. Does anyone have any questions?
I had one basic question. I heard you mention ELIZA again. Are these things all tied to the ELIZA framework, or is this stuff adjacent to it? Is it part of it? Like, or is it just completely independent of ELISA? Just curious, as to where ELISA fits into all of this.
Yeah, so we had ELISA added into the system, but it was so broken that we couldn't operate with it. So it was constantly every single day and every single testing session, we were finding bugs and errors and issues. So we removed ELISA and we introduced AutoGen. And on that, just change the stability of the system. And the plan is to continue with AutoGen and integrate ELISA as an MCP tool. I know that Titan has a very good relationship with them. We had a very good relationship with them with the LLM pipelines and everything. So we're totally looking into going forward with ELISA, but it will be a part of the system. It will not be the heart of the system. I don't know if that answers your question, Mike.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
No worries, sir. And we have one from Jason 2, new chatterbox model, text to speech with voice clones. Oh, nice. I haven't looked at that. Like, I would love to just look at that. I will research it. Thanks, Jason. Okay, guys.
Awesome. Excuse me. Thank you, Define.
Thank you, guys.
As always, I really appreciate all the hard work you put in. And one thing that I would love to see is as you're kind of going on in this process, maybe you want to do. I know you're going to be at Watercooler this week. I'm not sure if you're sharing some of the kind of research updates or legal updates that you've kind of been learning, but I would definitely love to see like a comprehensive overview about the state of AI agents. But yeah, just something I would love to see.
Oh, totally. So we will, so on Fireside, we are updating the channel every week, basically, and more often. And today I'm doing the merge on the main repo with all the documentation. So technical people can go and look at the state of the documentation, very detailed documentation. You will be also able to you yourself to launch the full system. Uh, and if you have any problem with the docs, just let me know, and we will also present the wall of it, the whole state
Okay.
of it in Wednesday on the Fireside.
Amazing. Okay, well, looking forward to seeing that. Um, also, apologies, a bit frazzled today, but there's some more announcements that I wanted to share. Two on the Explorer, we have the live infra SPE now live. I see FTK in the audience, so vote on that. Currently, we are almost at quorum at 29.5% participation, and it's currently at 100% support. So congrats to FTK. Additionally, the Creative Industries SPE was defeated. It didn't get the total participation needed, and also it was pretty split across the different voting categories. 17% were for, 39% were against, and 45% abstained. So I'm not sure if Sean is going to kind of come back and connect and kind of reiterate. Sorry, not reiterate, but review that, iterate it from where it currently is. But we will see. Finally, thank you to Marco. I don't think he's here today, but Marco gave us some boosts. So now we have the tag for Livepeer. So we have the live tag. If people have wanted to be a different name, I was gonna do LVPR, but I thought live might be a bit more cute. So if people have a preference, let me know. But that tag is now available if you want to rep Livepeer across your other servers. Okay, on the final topic, we have Titan on the beta launch. Take it away.
GM. Good day, everybody. yeah, no, just excited to announce that we have Sarah's game up and launched, and it's using the pipeline for the inference of her face and host, all this kind of cool stuff. And so, yeah, Dane is doing a lot of great work on upgrading the game engine, and so I'm excited to release those. So Sarah becomes more interactive. Her whole body is in the shot, and she can do more things like generate music and DJ and be more interactive. So right now, as it stands, Sarah is a talking head in a game where you convince her to give you your soul or give her soul to you. And yeah, just looking forward to like what our team is going to put together for quality and entertainment values. So on that note, yeah, the Eliza engine, the framework was actually really hard to use, and I've kind of ripped it out and just kind of basically built my own pipeline of LLM inference. So you can still obviously use Eliza if you want to use their framework with the container, but I'm building out my own emotional agent. So I created a light paper on this, which is like instead of um, instead of having agents that are super logical and know facts and act as assistants, I'm trying to create like an emotional agent. So how you interact with her changes her emotions. She's an emotional LLM, and then as she kind of goes through the game or as you interact with her, her emotions changed on how she feels towards you, and that ultimately affects her decisions. So yeah, just trying to bring like the emotional kind of thought process behind it, and then using their pipeline for the video, right? So yeah, super awesome. If I can get some feedback, if you could go to vtuber.fun and play 10 games and give me feedback on what you'd like to see, this would really help our SPE in the direction of like what people like, because our goal as the agent SPE is to give people a tool for creating live video agents. And so if we get guidance on what people like, don't like, then it gives us like a really nice foundation as to going towards a good product. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. And thanks everyone here for who's supporting the Agent SPE. We got about 3 months left, hopefully to have our container live, and then yeah, we'll see where we go from there.
Any comments for Titan or questions? All right. One share out from me, and then we can wrap things up, unless there's any other topics you want to jump into. But one share out for me, as people know, I've been working on Daydream as well and building out that community. And something that's come up through our ambassador program that I thought was interesting to share here on the AI side is that one thing that has been really strong about Daydream, a piece of feedback we've gotten a lot, is how it positions AI more as a creative partner rather than a replacement. And I think that framing has resonated with me as someone who, of course, we're all in the world now with AI. So I definitely think that, as we're thinking about AI in this community, I think the more AI is like what Titan's doing. Also, Mike, can you mute? Sorry. Thanks. But as AI. Sorry, less Mike. But yeah, basically, I think it's important for us as a community as well to think about how AI can become a creative partner for people, rather than a full replacement, and kind of products that combine the human and AI experience. And that's what I like about what you're doing, Titan, is kind of like having this emotional AI, right? This person you can connect with and they change as you change. I think that's like super dynamic and exciting. Anyway, so I'd share that. People really like Daydream for that reason. it's not replacing them, it's helping them be more creative. Awesome. Any thoughts on that, or are we good to wrap up for today?
I would like to make a comment on that.
Of course.
As someone who is building totally autonomous agents, the discussion I don't think is towards having a co-helper agent or an agent which is autonomous, because we as humans are cognitive pieces with almost unlimited agency, and this is something that the AI does not have and will potentially not have for the far-fetched foreseeable future. And this is where we have to think what is the cognitive output of the AI alone and what is the cognitive output of the AI plus a human. Because in this kind of reality, the cognitive output of a human plus an AI will always be higher than of the AI alone. Never mind without, if the same AI, if they have access to the same cutting edge AI, that cutting edge AI solo, it's not as powerful as the human. And so I think this is an important thing for people to understand. They will not get replaced by any AI as long as they use AI. The only way that anyone is getting replaced, I think, from AI is if they are stopping using AI and if they're stopping on trying to implement the new cutting edge AI technologies into their lives.
Awesome. Yeah, good insights as well. Yeah, we'll definitely see how things continue to evolve. It's definitely like a rapidly changing space. So, I'm excited for us to kind of be thought leaders and folks leading the charge in that way. So if people have any any topics on AI that you ever want to discuss, feel free to bring them here in terms of more like conceptual topics or topics about maybe like direction of where we want to take AI. Always feel free to bring that up. And I think the advisory boards will be really helpful in that regard to kind of getting us thinking on that more strategic level as we continue to move forward to find PMF and to grow fees on network. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining today's Watercooler Chat. I hope everyone has a good rest of the week, or a good start to the week and a good rest of the week. And if folks want to join, Fireside is on Wednesday, and we'll be hearing from a number of folks. So check that out. And of course, if you can't catch it synced, there's always the async recording that you can watch at your leisure. All right, everyone, have a good rest of the week. Bye.
See you later, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.